Well, time to edit this. It's we're gonna call this uh uh oh, it's gonna use the old thumbnail too. You know what? Sure. Sure, I'm okay with it being the other thumbnail. It was a fun thumbnail. I have to pause this because for some reason it's like, yo, you want a live preview that'll lag your stream computer? Heck no. Jesus Christ. Alright, did you hear the, like, the choo? Because it was pretty loud. Did you hear it echo through your brain space? My brain. Alright. So what happened at the log? Let's see. Bup, 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 bup. I do not remember any of this. Hold on a second. Did I have a brain melt? Last I remember they were at the top of the tower, one making wishes about like I want to stay with you and stuff. I don't remember any of that like blank out text. Did I like accidentally click while saving it? Okay, this top of the tower, yep. It was like a blade. And he sees her and it's like, yo, that shit's beautiful and stuff. Bewitched, never seen her illuminated so vividly, and he was having a great deal of trouble finding the words to describe her striking beauty. For someone who had been chased out of her house and accused of being a witch, the haired girl looked less like a practitioner of the dark arts and more like one of the hosts of heaven. Mikhail undoubtedly felt the same way, for his gaze was fixed firmly upon her. Dazzling, isn't it? Like a staircase leading to heaven. Yes, perhaps so. Is something the matter? No, I'm fine. You know, it feels like there's something odd in the air here. Feels like someone actually might be listening. If the witch were to speak to you, what would you say to her? I would ask her to tell me her true feelings, to tell me what kind of person she was and what kind of pain she had to endure. I want to know what she felt. This woman people branded a witch. The legend was written from a neutral perspective. It's possible she was a fearsome witch. It's also possible she wasn't. I get the feeling she was just persecuted like me. Like me and you. Unlike you, I am truly impure. I truly am impure. Disagree all you want, but my touch kills. I'm a strange, incomprehensible, irrational creature. Or maybe I'm not even a living being, and that's why when I touch something that is, I bring them death. If only I actually were a witch. If only I actually had some kind of extraordinary power. Regardless of whether it came from God or the devil, then I would be able to grant people's wishes. My wish need not be granted. But it's what I want too. I wish to be able to touch you. I'd be perfectly content with nothing changing, with us never being able to touch one another. I'd be more than happy with that. But I'm allowed to dream, aren't I? It doesn't have to be in this life. I pray the day will come that we can get closer, even if it has to be in another life. Happiness is very much a stranger to me, but I am allowed to dream too. You are. I will never touch you, I swear, but I would like to dream about it. I'd like to imagine placing my hand upon your cheek. You can't? Reach your hand out for me. Oh, so close. I will imagine it too. I'm imagining your fingers running through my hair, brushing up against my skin. I can feel your warmth. There was a wall between them, a wall they could not cross. For if they did, it would mean the white-haired girl's death. No matter how much they yearned for it, they could not touch one another, so they did so within the confines of their imagination, envisioning it in as much detail as they could manage. It was sad but sweet, a moment of pristine, untainted beauty. Two of them emanated serenity. As fitting as the word cursed might have been to the mansion as a whole, at the top of the observation tower a pure bond was being shared. A fleeting moment where a young man with a cursed touch and a kind-hearted beautiful girl. The dream did not last long, though. No. For God is quite cruel. They simply wanted to be together. That was all. Their wish was hardly unreasonable. Only a quiet, peaceful life together. But misfortune was creeping ever nearer, its footsteps growing more and more pronounced. Yeah, like, that's where I remember the text ending, and then suddenly I, like, look at the log, and there's, like, a billion texts of, like, Japanese, XXX speak, and it's like, what? Someone at the door. The flow of time was hazy within the mansion's walls. They had little way of telling whether it was night or day, preventing them from knowing exactly how much time had passed. Even though we know her name is Giselle, which is pretty spooky. Well, this is very much being told from an outsider's perspective, right? So we're looking at it from what I assume is Maid's perspective. So she insists on just calling her that. Unreliable narrator and all that business. The white-haired girl had made a habit of climbing the observation tower every so often to see whether the sun was up, which allowed her to approximate the time of day. Maybe. It's possible. We've had very few choices, so... yeah, maybe. Consequently, when she heard the knock of the door, she was not aware just how deep the night was outside. That forest and beasts alike lay quietly at rest. Oh, right. The stores in the cellar are almost exhausted. Must be this month's delivery. Not thinking it was worth bothering Mikhail over, she made her way out of her chamber and headed to the entrance. There had only been a single knock, leading her to conclude that, as before, the servant had simply left the box outside the door. So without a second thought, she opened the door, and there she saw a strange, vagrant man standing in the moonlight. His clothes were tattered, his bearded face bony and emaciated. She gasped, shrinking back several paces. The heavy door began to swing shut, but the man forced it open, glaring down at her with unfocused eyes and mumbling, "Are ye the witch that'll grant people's wishes?" It was in that moment that the white-haired girl realized she had been careless. The man had sought out the mansion because he believed the legend of the witch. He did not seem particularly right of mind, either, perhaps the result of wandering through the forest for several days. Or perhaps it was because he was so beaten down that he thought to ask for a witch's help. In a word, he seemed mad. No, there is no witch here. Sure there is, don't you lie to me. I can hear the witch's voice. She led me to this house. I promise you there isn't. Now please be on your way. Have you any idea how long it took to find this place? How many days I've gone without food or water? And you're telling me to get lost? I don't know what you want from me. I'm happy to give you a little food, so please. Is there really no witch? There's no witch here. It's nothing but a legend. She does exist, she doesn't live here. You see, and that means you're just an ordinary person. Just a person, just a girl. So there ain't a thing you can do. No, get away from me, what are you doing? Why waste your time waiting for ye to get me a little grub when I can just take it all? I'm starving here. So hungry I could eat a human. You're about to commit a grievous sin. Are you not ashamed to act in defiance of God? God? If I believed in God, would I come begging to a witch? I don't fear him, and I sure as hell don't fear people. Who's gonna show up in a house in the middle of the nowhere? Who's gonna call out? Who's gonna stop me? Oh, and that's it. No one's gonna stop me. No one's gonna offer me salvation. Ah, there's a thought. You're a woman, so for I kill you. What are you doing? What? There's other people here. The white-haired girl lay pinned on the floor beneath the yelling bandit, pleading for help with her ruby eyes. As soon as Mikhail grasped the situation, he tossed his candlestick aside and leapt up for the man. The candlestick gave a sharp clang when it hit the floor. The impact extinguished the flame, bringing the mansion to near perfect darkness. Something glinted in the bandit's hands, and then, without hesitation, he thrust it at Mikhail. Mikhail! Ha! Ha ha! How stupid you must be to come at me unarmed. In his hand, the man held a knife, its tip dripping with Mikhail's blood. Red spilled from the gash in his arm, and the flow grew heavier with each passing moment. You're the only other person here by the looks of it, eh? Perfect. They'll take you both out. What? You don't appear to know whose house you tried to break into. What are you on about? Forget your ignorance to your very last breath. You're messed up in the head, you madman. Hey, stay back. Stay the hell back. Take one more step and... Oh no, grabby hand. I inherited the witch's curse. Let go! Mikhail clutched the man's face in one hand. The man raised his knife to strike back, but... What's happening? The strength drained from his fingertips. The knife falling to the floor. The man writhed in Mikhail's grip. Me face! I can't breathe! Leave this place immediately. But you won't get far afflicted with my curse. Helpless to fight back, nay, helpless to even consider fighting back, the man had fled for the mansion in terror. In his wake, only the white-haired girl and a bleeding Mikhail remained. I just saw a man's life drained from him. His face withering away, stuck completely dry. I didn't doubt him, but dear God, that was It was quite disturbing for you, I'm sure. No, not at all. It's my fault anyway, if I hadn't been so careless. Oh, your arm! We need to get that wrapped up. Please do not touch me. You mustn't touch me. The wound is hardly fatal. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry. No, a degree of the blame falls on me for saying nothing. Next time someone comes to the door, let me know. I'm sorry. Please, you don't need to apologize. Well, yes. For once, I'm actually proud of myself. Proud that I could use this terrible ability of mine to do something more than just take life. To protect someone I care about. So like I said, please don't apologize. Alright, thank you. Mikkel, I'm glad you're here. I care about you too. Thank you. Had the flame of Mikkel's candle not gone out when he threw it to the floor, he would have seen a heartfelt smile on the white-haired girl's face, and she would have seen a flush of red and an awkward smile on Mikkel's normally blank face. He also might have seen a little glimmer on her cheek, where a few drops of his blood had landed. Oh. Rip. But alas, they had no light. Alright. Reaching the end. The collapse of their happiness came slowly, gradually. Perhaps it was because she had touched his blood instead of his skin. But the deterioration of the white-haired girl's health crept along at a relaxed pace. The life was not sucked out of her in the blink of an eye, as had been for the bandit. She merely grew progressively less and less healthy. Amidst her physical decay, she was bestowed with one blessing. Her beauty remained untouched. But as far as blessings went, surely there were others she could have been granted. Could God have not picked something a little better for her? By the time the two of them realized what was happening, it was already too late. The white-haired girl had grown so weak she could hardly leave her bed. Well, I mean, I guess that's how come the rest of her lives are so, she's so weak and, prone to sunlight. Rips. Yes. Oh, you were there. I am. Thank goodness. I can't see very well anymore. How could this happen? I thought I had saved you, but no, I did the exact opposite. Please, don't talk that way. Oops. Might as well save, I guess. You did save me that day. But you're on the cusp of death now, and it's my fault. Because of this curse I bear. How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? What am I? Why was I given this body? Mikkel, can I, ask you a favor? Let me check something. Does the backlog refer to her as, like, Giselle or the white-haired girl? Because before when I was scrolling back, it referred to her as Giselle. No. Yeah. Can I, ask you a favor? Go ahead. Stay with me, please. As much as you can until the very end. I was going to do as much anyway. Thank you. I'm happy, Mikkel. Happier than I have ever been. And I mean that. You didn't just save my life, you saved me. I've been saved, but only me. I wonder how I'll handle things when I'm gone. If only I hadn't opened the door that day, I wouldn't be leaving him all alone. We could be happy together for even longer. Yes. Would you please hold my hand? I think it's probably safe now. I will not. I cannot touch you. If I do, I might take what remains of your life, take your beauty away, and force you to die hideous. I cannot touch you. Ripsy Repsy. Nope, glitching out. Glitching out memory recall. The second time. Are we gonna get a separate perspective? We're back at the door. Oh dear. On his way back from the washroom several days later, Mikhail heard muffled voices. Got it? Well, it sure sounds like the bandits survived. He was having trouble making out what they were saying, but he could tell it was several men and they were outside the front door. The fact that he could hear them all through the heavy door meant they were probably shouting quite loudly. An indescribable sense of uneasiness came over him. Dread. He drew nearer to the door and focused on the voice on the other side. It grew clearer, enough for him to make out what the men were saying. Everything's in place. We're ready to kill the witch now. It's definitely the place. That half-dead bandit said she was in this mansion. Listen well. No matter what we find in here, we kill it. Could be a child for all I care. That didn't change a thing. Kill the witch. Kill the witch. Kill the witch. What he heard beyond the door was a group of men shouting for the death of the witch. In that moment, Miguel regretted his decision to let the bandit go free and now not watch over him until the moment of his demise. Must have made his way down to the village in search of help, where he revealed what he had found in the mansion. Damn it. It was too late. Regret would solve nothing. He could neither stop the villagers from raiding the house, nor could he stop the white-haired girl from dying to the effects of his curse. He was helpless to do anything. The years of his fate had locked him onto a path of tragedy, and were turning mercilessly onward. The men began trying to break the door down with what sounded like a battering ram. While the first strike was not enough to breach the barrier, it was still quite powerful. He was certain it would not hold for long. Mikhail's mind raced. Is there anything he could do about this predicament? How could he escape from the corner that he had been backed into? Despite his possessing inhuman powers, he was powerless against a full mob of adult men. The villagers were almost certainly armed as well. Mikhail. Damn, she made it out. A weak voice came from behind him. Aghast, he spun around to find the white-haired girl stumble up towards him. She breathed heavily, leaning against Collins for support. What are you doing out here? You'll only worsen your condition by exerting yourself. I had a sinking feeling, and I heard noises on the way here. It seems that I have brought all my misfortune upon you. Don't say that. If I hadn't come here, this never would have happened. You never would have been in any danger. Please, Mikhail, hand me over to the men outside. Absolutely not. I will do no such thing. They're here for the witch, aren't they? Guessing they're the same people who were chasing me before. The village had a poor harvest this year, I hear. Like the village in the legend. They believe it's the witch's curse. But you're not a witch. I need someone to fill the role, though. So please, hand me over, and then escape on your own. I could never. Please, Mikhail. I'm the one who's cursed, not you. And you want me to hand you over? What would I have left then? Nothing. Not a thing. I would have nothing. For so long I finally found someone who isn't afraid of me, who won't run. I have no interest in a world that will take you away from me, make me live alone once more. To hell with such a world. Mikhail. Well, I mean, you guys are just both awkwardly standing in front of this barrier. So it's gonna break in like 2 seconds. Would you be willing to die with me? If that's what you wish, then stay with me until the very end. I probably wanted to hear that just as much as him. No, not probably, I did. I wanted to have someone at my side as much as him. It's so lonely not having anyone. To live alone, to die alone. To not have anyone watching over you. For no one to even know you're dead. I simply wanted someone to tell me they're here for me. To be there to hold my hand. How wonderful that would be. The sense of utter relief it would bring would be enough to cast away all the pain. To allow me to accept all our suffering. So please, tell me you'll... Alright, back in the stairwell. Are they both gonna suicide jump? Mikhail and the white-haired girl chose to spend their final moments at the top of the observation tower. They could hear the crash of the battering ram against the door, the shouts of men and their stomping feet. But despite all that, the ray of light shining through the little window was as beautiful as always. The room's air of serenity remained unimpeached. After the long climb to the top, the white-haired girl was terribly out of breath. Mikhail considered several times offering her his hand, but the possibility that doing so might rob her of the last scraps of life stayed in his hand. Sounds like they broke down the door. I'm glad we made it up here when we did. I'm so sorry for asking this of you. Don't be. I would have chosen here for my final moments as well. This is the one place in the mansion with any sunlight. The one place I can get a good look at you. Thank you. Oh. I'm truly grateful I was able to end up here. That I was able to meet you. And more than anything, that you cared about me. You said you cared about me. Have I managed to become an essential part of your life? Do you even need to ask? I wouldn't be here otherwise. I feel the same way as you, I'm sure of it. The two of us are more similar than you could probably care to admit. Can I ask you one more thing, Vaughn? Would you embrace me? This to be the end, if this is my last chance. But I don't want it to end without having been able to touch you. Please don't refuse this, Mikhail. Just do it, please. I won't keep you waiting long. Hugs. Thank you. The truth is, I always wanted this. I dreamed of being able to hold you. I dreamed of it too. Thank you. And so very. Still so beautiful. What a cruel joke. Could you not have given us some other miracle? One that would allow us both to survive. Where are you? Where'd you get off to? I can't find her, damn it. Hey, there's some stairs over here. They lead up. Beneath a single ray of light, the white-haired girl lay completely still. Not even a frail sigh escaped her closed lips. She remained as gorgeous as ever. As though she had simply fallen asleep in the sunlight. Looking down upon her, Mikhail determined to do one thing. I would not allow anyone to sully this sight. He gave a fleeting glance back at the pristine corpse, then opened the door and stepped through it alone. He would protect that room where she lay. Hey, there's someone up here! So this is where you've been hiding, you infernal witch. Wait, that's not a girl. The precocious sound of their footsteps rang out from below. Shortly thereafter, the men themselves came to view. As he had expected, they were heavily armed. He glowered at the men, then sucked in a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs, I am the witch you seek! I have inherited her curse, and it is I who brings calamity upon you. You hear that? But he's a... Man or woman doesn't matter. Death to anyone who has ties to the witch. Cleanse this earth of all impurity. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Mikhail did not flinch at the sight of the men. He stood unyielding between them and the door. I mean, it's a small corridor. Like you can only line up one at a time. Like, you guys are like single filed right now. He did not flinch when they raised their weapons against him, nor when they pierced his body. No, well. Yeah. Die and take your curse with you. I have no need for this life any longer. It's all yours. I am cursed. Kill even that which I wish to protect. But, at the very least, I can protect one thing before my life is done. Not even one of you will leave this place. Wither and die by my curse. The blood spilling from his skewered body flowed down the stairs and down like a little river, soaking the feet of every single man who stormed their mansion. This was the last thing he saw before the final grains of life slept between his fingers. which brought a faint smile to his lips. Fuck you, you didn't win. Yeah. Yeah, that's yep. Yep. I mean, his whole thing is that, like, oh, she was so beautiful and nothing like anyone else. Here's a sick rose, and then it turned bloody. Yeah, that's the whole point. Oh shit, she wasn't dead? Ah. Neither of them had expected what happened next, though, for God had a most twisted sense of humor. The white-haired girl had not miraculously passed away without being robbed of her beauty. Why am I still alive? She had rather not passed away at all. Quite crude of him, was it not? Mikhail, where have you gone, Mikhail? Mikhail? I smell his. I smell blood. Well, I mean, in every single, well, two out of four stories so far, she got away scot-free. She ran away. In the first one and the third one, she ran away. Second one, she died. Yeah, we don't actually know because the story said it ended there. Yeah. For had he allowed her to die, she would not have been made to witness the scene that awaited her. No, no. And I'm sure you know just what it was she laid eyes upon in that moment. The ravaged corpse of her beloved, a torrent of blood streaming down the spiral staircase, and a sickening stench it raised. No, why? And his was not the only body. The villagers who had assaulted the mansion had been subjected to his curse, the life drained from their withered shells. Why did this? Mikhail, why? Why am I the only one still alive? That is a question I cannot answer either. Perhaps his curse did not affect those he loved, as terribly cruel as that might be. I cannot say. Why, you said we would go together. A world without you had no meaning. Had she actually spent her life in that room at the top of the tower, perhaps this tale could have had a happy ending. She would have at least been able to have the man she loved at her side until her very last moments upon this earth. But that was not what had transpired. Sick mix-up, haha. She had survived, been left utterly alone. I felt a profound pity for the miserable girl. So I called out to her. Well, who would have thought the witch Morgana would be the maid? Would you like to see him once more? What? I have the power to help you meet him again. Who's there? Where are you? You know what they call this mansion. So who do you suppose remains on these grounds? No way. You're from the legend. You actually exist. Now I ask you a simple question. Would you like to see him again? The witch grants people's wishes, but at a price. I said I wouldn't ask for her assistance if I met her. That's all changed. Now that I've lost him. Truly possible. Then, yes, I want to see him. Bring him back to life. Regrettably, I cannot directly meddle with the forces of life and death. However, I can guarantee you this. Your reconstruction. Reconstruction? Correct. To ensure that you remain as yourself in future lives and are not reborn as someone else, your body and mind shall be reconstructed. As shall his. If you sincerely wish to unite with one another, if you genuinely need each other in your lives, you will eventually meet again. All I can promise you is eternal reconstruction. What you make of it is up to you. You want to see him again, don't you? You want to hear his voice again, don't you? You want to feel his hand on your cheek once more, don't you? If that's what you want, then you must remain who you are. If you were simply reborn, that wouldn't be you. So there wouldn't be any point, would there? Me as I am, and he as he is. Make up your mind quickly. I will not wait long. I want to see him again. As you wish, sweet little girl. I shall grant you both eternal reconstruction, and pray with all my heart that you can attain true happiness. Shortly thereafter, the white-haired girl took her own life. She decided she had nothing to gain by remaining in the present time, and in order to reunite with Mikkel, she needed to make her way to the next one. And thus, the mansion was left bereft of a master to travel slowly through the ages, until someone came along to give it life once more. Misty Manor. So I feel like this is only the halfway point of the game, even though, like, she's like, this is the last door. Cause it's like, we finally have all the pieces, and we're in the current time, which I assume would be another, like, door equivalent, at the very least. But an unfathomable amount of time has passed on the two of you, yet to be still yet to be reunited. Have they, Master? You know now who you are, do you not? You remember everything now, do you not? You're present in every single era, the reason for which is as I described in the previous tale. Hello? What the fuck is happening? You're screaming. Anyways, every single one of the, like, if what she says is true, then the white-haired girl reincarnated as herself the whole time. But Mikkel, as we'd seen him in this life, did not. So while people had aspects of them in each era, they've apparently not met up yet. Kind of like him, not actually him. Which makes it even crueler that, like, maybe as like the legend stated with the whole tragedy bit, she's paying for the initial wish of being able to reincarnate and meet up with, like, these, what, 1,000 years of bad lives, I guess. Alright. Because you yearn to be reunited with someone, but that person never showed up in any era. And poor sweet you, having no memory of any of that, lived those lives with other men. Oh. So I'm totally gonna turn out to be the girl. I mean, I figured based on the cover, but you know. Is it any surprise misfortune befell those eras? The door swung closed. But rather than outside, you and the maid were inside the dull monochrome room at the top of the observation tower. The awe-inspiring ray of light shone not through the lone window high upon the stone wall. Wrapped in a curious impenetrable darkness, you both stood alone in the room. The maid wore a gentle but brittly cold smile as she looked straight at you. It is not your fault misfortune befell you. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were always so kind, so pure of heart. You had boundless trust for others and the goodness of people. You are the very image of all that is right. There's no greater misfortune than someone as pure and beautiful as you being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. I still pity you for everything you had to go through. You poor, poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted. And I mean, like, we got Chip chopped up. I don't know how much, but she didn't seem to be gravely injured, just like, you know, a little beaten up and a little short on the hair. Yeah. Like, I would have expected her to go nuts and to stab her afterwards, but she didn't, apparently. Yeah. But I'm just like, oh shit, the beggar. Oh shit, it was her. Oh no. Like that sort of thing. Constantly betrayed, the man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit wore down to the bone. You lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who you were hoping to find wandering into the illusionary mansion. Cut off from the real world. You and I are the only ones here. The man you seek is nowhere to be found. We've still not figured it out. Allow me to tell you everything. You said you would wait for me to discover it, and you're just like, nah man, we're out of doors, we gotta say this now. I am the cursed witch, Morgana, who haunts this mansion. And you are the tragic plaything of fate, the white-haired girl named Giselle. Did my calling you master confuse you? So then I apologize. My habit of calling the master or mistress of the house master is quite deeply ingrained. And yes, that means precisely what you think it does. That I've accepted you as my new master. That I wish for you to remain here. To stay with me. So let us put an end to this journey. Do not worry. There's nothing to fear. We're simply going to step outside the river of time. Nothing unpleasant will ever happen again. To you again. I will be here with you for all eternity. And I'll give you my utmost care. You will not have to wait for anyone. Forget about him, the man you once sought. And I'm sure you shall find happiness. Please, do it for me. I've been waiting for you for so very long. I've wanted nothing more than to see you again. But you were continuously stolen away from me, despite my sincerest desires to spend my days with you. Which is why I wanted you to recall everything, for surely you would not willingly repeat the same fate. If you knew all the pain it had caused you to suffer thus far, spend eternity with me, in the gentle embrace of darkness. The maid extended her hand to you, her fingers brushing up against yours were as cold as ever. But her breath tickled your skin pleasantly, and her sweet words rang in your ears, filling you with warmth. You thought back to your time with her in the mansion. She had indeed always treated you with great compassion. Nothing she had said seemed to be a lie. And so you pondered. What were you to do? Oh. There's a... I should save these on the choices listings. There's still more to be done. I'm curious what this will give me. If I'll just wander around the mansion, just like... Something seems off. Not only with the story... Because, like, we still have to do the whole thing with, like, the painter dude. Not only with the story she just told, with her. And with you yourself. Assuming everything she had said was the truth. Which or not, my mind is made up. Oh, hey, we're finding this as Giselle. Only in... Oh, wait, no. It's a flashback. Okay. Okay. Which will strike you first, I wonder, regret or the curse? You seem to be doing fine, doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It's not a legend or fairy tale. The witch is me. That's right. It wasn't the white-haired girl who had claimed to be the witch. That wasn't all. The painting... Okay, so these are things that we had seen ourselves. Because we had chosen the options. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? If you do, you are sincerely prepared to do that. Then beware of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real. It's precisely that. Fabrication. None of your questions have been answered. You still didn't know who the painting was. What had taken place so long ago that caused the mention to so many people to it. You wouldn't even know who you were, for that matter. There's still more to be done. You need to find the truth. You need to find someone. I'm much for certain. Was the story the maid had told correct about who? And if it was... What about her? What about the woman whose name you couldn't say? The woman who had so cheerfully called you master. The real me. We agreed that we'd live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. It's just the beginning after all.